it was really hard because like I knew I was going to be the same person, but I didn't know if other people were going to see me that way. It's hard to pinpoint like when exactly I found out, because most of my life I always knew. Like whenever I was younger, I remember like I was like 8. I even said that I'm a boy in a girl's body, and I hated it. It was so confusing, and it felt really lonely because no one could relate. Every time I would try to reach out to someone, no one could relate. So I tried to suppress it as long as I could.
I think I started to realize that I was that I really actually liked girls and wanted to date girls probably in 8th grade maybe or 9th grade.
I realized that I was transgender when I was, I believe, 16 years old, sophomore year of high school, and I was starting out to wear makeup. I started to wear brows and lashes and shit. It was a hot ass mess.
I think I knew when I was about 13 years old going into middle school. Like, I really didn't feel anything about it. I was kind of neutral about it until about high school. And then I really just finally accepted it.
I was in middle school or something because that's when everyone like started having crushes and stuff, and I wasn't really having crushes on guys or anything. If guys liked me, I was just like, no, I don't really like you like that, only as a friend. It was kind of scary because growing up, like every time I would bring one of my friends around or something, my family would be like, are you gay? Is that your girlfriend? Like just teasing me and stuff. So I just knew that it wasn't kind of accepted, or I felt like it wasn't accepted in my family. So I didn't want anyone to know, so I had to hide that pretty much my whole life.
I didn't come out until the middle of 9th grade. My friends at the time, it was kind of weird. I had been friends with them for a really, really long time. And I guess some of them kind of thought that since I had come out now, that I had had crushes on them the whole time. But I don't know, so that was kind of weird.
I didn't come out until I was about 17. And when I came out, when I finally when I finally said like, yes, I'm transgender, I hated myself for it. And I felt really hard to love. I'm gonna cry. Oh my God.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm with you too.
Oh man.
It's okay, I promise.
Oh no. Okay, I'm trying not to cry. When I first came out, it was really hard because I had already identified as a lesbian before, so I knew how to come out and I knew what some reactions would be, but it was completely different because you still don't know how people are going to fully react to everything.
My mom was definitely confused about it. My dad doesn't speak a lot of English, so he was also confused about it. It took a while. It didn't stop me from my transitioning. I'm very, very good when it comes to prioritizing my happiness, and the main thing about transitioning is you just really got to keep going with your feet forward. Not everyone's gonna accept you, so obviously I had to do what I had to do and say that bitch.
My friends, my family, they've been really cool about it. I haven't met or haven't told anybody that I've already known that doesn't really want to talk to me anymore or anything like that. They're really cool about it, and it's been pretty positive since then.
I didn't actually come out to my mom until about 4 years ago, and we were actually pretty close, but I know my mom had a feeling like I would never have a boyfriend around, never brought boys around, it was only a girl.
I still have family members that are still like, I don't want this to be happening, like, you don't know what you're talking about, you're wrong, you're my granddaughter, you're my daughter, and I'm just like, sorry, I'm your son.
I think they kind of thought it was a phase for a few years, but hasn't changed yet, so.
I'm still kind of not out like the people like when I come into contact with at work and stuff like that, and I'm just kind of nervous about just being like meeting new people, because still there's people out there that you don't know that could say something and just be rude, and I'm just kind of not like comfortable being around that.
Okay, I kind of avoided in certain audiences, not that I tried to make them believe that I'm something I'm not. I just kind of avoid the topic entirely because I don't want anyone to be uncomfortable or think differently of me just because I'm gay.
Or whenever people are like first getting to know me, I'm always hesitant to tell them like I'm gay or, you know, I have a girlfriend, because I don't know how they're going to accept that. This is my first job that I'm working that actually went in and wasn't hesitant about it, because I'm more accepting of who I am, and like I have a like good group of people that are like, yeah, that's who you are, and like they don't judge you.
It's kind of like tiptoeing around people's feelings, because like right now I'm in the middle of transitioning. I'm only like 2 months on T, so I don't really pass. So of course I definitely don't look how I want to look. So it's very obvious. But you know, like I always wait a little bit before I tell people, because I'm so scared of what people are going to say, because it's just that reaction. I don't know how people are going to react. I don't know, you know, who's gonna freak out. And it's honestly really scary.
A big problem in the LGBT community is the violence against trans women. We are more than likely to be murdered, sexually harassed, and more than likely to be harassed by the police. And just down the street from me, 7 minutes away, a woman was stabbed about 100 times, and the most scariest part is that not many people realize how frightening it is for me and other trans women to live today. Another challenge that I had faced growing up in the South would definitely be getting my hormone replacement therapy, and it's definitely something the whole entire trans community face as well. I had to go through 7 months of therapy before I actually went to an endocrinologist.
As far as like medically transitioning, it was a very long process, and I have to drive, you know, 3-4 hours out of the way just to get hormones, just to get treatment, and it's very frustrating.
That's also another problem faced in the South. We don't have any endocrinologists in Mississippi.
I can't use the men's bathroom at work. I have to use a family bathroom, and I've told certain people at work and they don't understand. I've tried to write, you know, the right name. I tried to have the right name, and they've had to switch it back, and it's just a very hard process.
I couldn't use the girls' restroom at school. I had to use the nurses' restroom, which was really difficult in between classes, which is like definitely not okay. I like ran to the nurses' restroom 24/7, like, ooh. A year after I graduated, I found out that senior year prom, I had won prom queen, and I didn't receive it because it was too controversial for me to win it as a trans woman, and it was kept a secret. I didn't find out until like literally a year later, or maybe a year and a half later, but yeah.
Being in the South already, being a minority is, you have to watch out for everything that you do. You have to watch yourself, you have to watch around, and you just have to be cautious, and that's just how it is today, because racism isn't over and it's still going on, so you just have to watch out.
I think a really common misconception is that it's a choice, because that's like one of the questions I get. Why did you choose to do this? Or when did you decide to be trans? Or why are you doing this? And it's not a choice. And I can't express that enough. It is not a choice. And people don't get that. They think that you just want to be this person, but you already are. You're just in the wrong body.
There's so many stereotypes. They're everywhere. It's so annoying. People who have no idea who you are, who know nothing about you, can come up to you and assume things just because you identify a certain way or you look a certain way, and it's really annoying. It's terrible.
I feel like everyone feels like they have to fit a certain type of look or something. Like if you're like a gay guy, like you have to be flamboyant or something. Like you can't be masculine. And like if you're a gay girl, like you can't be too pretty. Like you can't do your makeup and all this. Like everyone wants to have to fit a certain style to be what their label is.
I think that in the LGBT community, there's still like a misconception that it's over sexualized, and it's just like it's more about sex than being who you are, when it really is the opposite way.
I believe the next step for the LGBT community is progressing our healthcare ourselves. We could definitely improve on the ways we receive hormone replacement therapy for each and every trans woman.
Gay marriage can legally happen. That doesn't mean that it's socially acceptable everywhere, and that doesn't mean that it's culturally acceptable everywhere. You can't just change the laws, you have to change people's minds, and you have to change people's hearts.
And change is acceptable to most people, but there's always going to be some people that always give you negativity and just cannot understand the change because it's a different time than when they lived in. So whenever people of the community have courage to come out as themselves, like some people get backlash, and that's not how it should be.
Like, I think healthcare should definitely be one of the things, because like I was saying, I have to drive, 3 to 4 hours out of my way just to get treatment. And it's really hard. And there aren't many people informed of the trans community and what they're going through. So I definitely think that should be one. I think that trans people should be able to use whatever bathrooms they need to.
My main advice would definitely be time and patience. Be patient with everything. You can only work so much with everything one day at a time. Keep your feet forward, prioritize your happiness, and know that everything will be okay and it will get better. Promise.
Don't try to change who you are to make other people happy. You aren't hard to love, and even though you're feeling like this, there are people who are going to accept you, and there are people who are going to love you no matter who you are or what you are.
I pretty much hid my identity most of my life. I didn't even come out until after I graduated, and I didn't even come out to my parents until 4 years ago. One advice I would say is always be yourself. There's always going to be people that don't support you and just don't understand what you're going through, but you're going to have a group of people that are going to support you, and they're always going to motivate you to go where you need to be, and they're going to tell you like you are loved and like you're accepted. So you should always be yourself.
Just don't rush it. Just take your time, and everything will happen when it needs to.
You have to be yourself, even if it makes you really uncomfortable at first. If it makes other people uncomfortable, it doesn't really matter. You should be yourself. There's so many people out there. You're gonna have a support system no matter what. It doesn't really matter who you are or what you're doing. There's gonna be people who are gonna criticize you and who are not gonna like what you're doing. But as long as you're happy and you're not hurting anyone, then their opinions don't really matter.
I'm Sam, I'm trans, and I'm proud.
And I'm proud to be gay.
Oh, I'm Amber, and I'm queer, and I'm proud.
I'm Lindsay, and I'm gay, and I'm proud.
Ew.